Okay, hi guys, nice to meet you today. So I'm gonna do this, sorry about my haircut there. So I'm doing fine now. So I'm gonna do this YouTube video in English, okay? So for those of you who are used to hearing me in French, you're gonna have to cope with my heavy French Canadian accent. Sorry about it. Um, All right, so the internet is pretty good, and we're talking to all kinds of people throughout the world. And okay, so I'm gonna start the video as well on my Facebook. So on Facebook, I'm called Mr. Matt Provencher, M-A-T only, Provencher, Provencher. Add me up there as well. I'll be more than welcome to, I'll be more than glad to hear about you. All right. So let's see. Okay, so okay, good. Okay, so we'll start sharing there. Okay, let's see. Okay, later on. Anyhow. So I'm learning all kind of technical stuff. And well, if one day you want to associate with me, I know some of you guys must be a lot better than me. Maybe you don't have, well, I wouldn't say, maybe you have a different English accent than I do. Everyone's got a way of, talking in English, and that's all good. So I got the direct chat as well for the people who found me out. So yeah, so I'm building this YouTube chain. There's gonna be a big success, I hope, and it's gonna be quite interesting. And well, I'll try to do a better montage than that. I'll try to come up with better montage than that, because it sucks a little bit like that. I can understand that. I'm doing that. I got a weekend job, so I'm doing that in the office, and so I don't know. I'm not supposed to be doing that there, but one of these days I'll have my own office. I see things big. I see things, and I'm one of the important thing in business or whatever you're gonna do in your life is persistence. And that sounds weird from a guy that quit a lot of his jobs in the past, okay, and in the recent past, okay. But when bad things like that, I was gonna say a mean word, the S word. So I'm trying not to use that because I don't want to build a character like that. I could, I could do that. I could talk dirty. I could talk shit. Okay, sorry I said it, but that's okay once in a while. But some people actually they're doing that all the time, and I don't want to be doing that. So if you got things that can improve my video, anything, any suggestions, so we can always use as well my email address at addresses these days. Okay, and I'll give you as well my personal email address at the end of this video. I'll write it down, so if I forget, just try to remind me for those who are listening in direct time, which is not that many people. Yeah, okay, yeah, the email address I was gonna tell you is called Promath, Monsieur Monsieur at gmail.com. Okay, so yeah, I got no space on that board right now. But at the end, I'll erase it. And if you didn't have time to catch that, I'll write it down on the board behind me. If you want to subscribe to this chain, I'll probably write it down. So I'm making those videos available for the public to see, and so as a brief presentation, my whole name is Yann Provencher. I go with this name of Mr. Promat on YouTube because I like to do mathematics, and I do understand the fact that there's lots of people that don't enjoy it as much as it should be enjoyed, and they got an aversion somehow to that too, and it leads to all kinds of problems in life. I see it's a form of literacy, if you want, just like financial, economical literacy. It's important. It's something that's important to develop. Okay, and yeah, so that's very important, math. But at the same time, I just want to show you. I was installing. Okay, so I was installing someone. I'm just gonna quit her. Yeah, close that. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, it's all good now. It's all good. Perfect. So I'm gonna watch it later on. Okay. Kind of less when I don't see my face somehow, and it's kind of I'm in love with myself, as they say. No, actually I'm not. I don't think I am. So yeah, I got all kinds of projects, and this YouTube chain is one of them. And it's not for the money because I wouldn't be doing that because it takes a lot of time to build something like that, and that's normal. If you get too quick to the success, sometimes it means bad news. Okay, can be positive, can be negative, but sometimes it's because you said something really stupid, really you insulted the community. I don't know. So you made something stupid, and then they sort of laugh at you instead of laughing with you. So it's not something that you really want, or else you might do something on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. Very a performance, but it's like it's a one in a lifetime opportunity that comes up, burns very, very fast, and then it's like a hay fire. It burns the whole barn of hay, and it disappears. It's not there. So you can go like very fast for positive and negative reasons. But so what you want to have is a steady grow up of your following, and there's different tricks, there's different things that you can do. So one of my gig was to teach English to the French students, because in Quebec we do speak French. That's the first language of most people there. They're French Canadian, just like I am, and but there's lots of bilingual people, and there's different levels, just like in many countries. So I wouldn't say I'm trying to be humble with that, but I would say I'm in the upper class, I hope, because it's a skill I took a lot of time to develop, just like someone becomes a very fine guitarist or a very fine musician, drummer, or whatnot. It looks easy, when you see them going blah blah blah, and then but once you do it and you have to sort of practice yourself, it's a lot different. So you have to start from the beginning. So it's a little bit like that. So okay, so maybe because I said it was going to be English for beginners, right? Okay. And there's different kinds of beginners. I mean, you could be a beginner all your life, as far as I'm concerned. Like if I'm taking, for instance, other foreign languages, like I like languages, but like I would do Spanish or German, and I know a few words in those two languages, Italian a little bit, but uh, I take time to try even Russian or whatnot. I take time to try to listen to. But at some point, in every, perhaps you're a little like that, and perhaps you've flushed me already for that reason. If English is not your first language, um, maybe you said, well, it's kind of hard these days especially with the world we live in of a short attention period. It's due to the media. It's due to the internet, and I'm a victim of that, just like you are. Okay, um, but there's a couple things that I enjoy doing. One of them is talking. Could talk for hours and hours, but I don't want to bore you too much. It's already been like 11 minutes. And I tend to talk a little slow. In my head, I think I'm talking very, very fast, but then I listen back to me, and I'm quite, I'm quite slow actually. But well, maybe you can tell me if you find. But there's always this nice feature on YouTube that you can accelerate. So I would recommend when you listen to me, if you want to maximize your time, do it at the second speed, so 2x basically. You select that. I would recommend that. Even myself, when I'm double checking myself, that's what I'm doing. Sorry about that. It's time for a meal. So maybe you're listening to me right now. The beauty of that, the beauty of school everywhere, because that's my plan. That's what I intend to do. Um, I love school. It's something I enjoyed. Uh, I think I'm a better student in my life than I've been a worker in my life. Some people are more programmed to be workers. Um, but I can do that. I can work, I've worked in the past, in different jobs, different kinds of jobs, physical, mentally, or whatnot, and but I'm not the best one with my hands, like a manual person. I can get a couple things fixed in my house, just like using a screwdriver, hammer, or stuff like that, basic stuff, saw. But at some point, I gotta get the help of a professional, and we cannot be, A1 people in everything. We gotta maximize our abilities. And one of my ability that I'm trying to use is I'm trying to do stuff like that um, on the internet and live as well, as a tutorial, as a tutor, and as a teacher. So I'm teaching French, English, and math. Those would be my best skills. Well, I've been asked for those two things are, yeah, like math and English, as wicked as it may seem. Those were my favorite subjects, and somehow there's more requests for that than, let's say, a French teacher or whatnot, because everyone over here is French, and there's pretty good. There's a lot of nice French person around. Um, so anybody on the chat? Okay, there's nobody. Yeah, okay, so I can add a message there. So I can go like hello and talk to myself. Hello, everyone. And okay, perfect. Okay, Monsieur is Mister for because I've taught also to a lot of in Quebec there's francophones. Those are the people who speak French, because francophones is from, well, the words exist in English as well, but some people are not familiar with the way they say French people, but they haven't heard francophone, but something used in Canada and especially in Quebec. We talk about even Anglophones in Quebec. Well, English people are Anglophones, so I wasn't sure if it's really something very used. Instead, everyone knows English and French, of course, but Francophone and Anglophones, it comes from French, Anglophone, Francophone. So Francophone, someone that speaks French, Français. Okay, beautiful. So English is anglais. Habla inglés, por favor. Okay, so I know a few words, sprechen Deutsch. Okay. Anyhow, that's basically all my skills in other languages. Nos vidania in Russian, spasibo. What else? Spasibo, как дела? Kokasi in Kokasi or Kakosi. This is in Serbia, no, Croatian. No, it's Croatian. So yeah, when I'm gonna get people from all across the world listening to me, admiring my beautiful face, because at some point I'm gonna be pretty big, I hope. Well, the reality is I don't really care. It's because it's why I like doing both. I believe I like speaking in front of not huge crowds, but 30 people, 20, 10, 15, 20 people, and also in front of a few students, even on one-on-one on tutorial basis. This is something I enjoy doing, and perhaps you're going to see me around, okay, for those. So as a first lesson, as an English speaker, so we're going to start by really simple things. So how are you? So you repeat after me. And I hear no one because I'm the only one here. Okay, so yeah, if there's mic problems or whatnot, just tell me. I'm trying to improve what's going on, and yeah. So perhaps I hope there's a few of you guys. I'm gonna put the video once it's being loaded on YouTube. It takes a few hours, I believe, at least, maybe a few days, and then things are going to go pretty fast. Anyhow. But the thing is, it's always persistence, and it's the willingness to be in team, to work with some other people in teams. Okay, so perfect. So I just built a board because I figured it would take less time. I don't know if you see it fine, see it well, how well you can see it. I know it's not metrical, it's being pushed. So I'm gonna make it, gonna put it closer so that we can actually see it. And that's actually less annoying, I believe, if I'm listening to it on the Facebook. Okay, because actually on Facebook, the weird thing is on YouTube, I see things, but I see things in the mirror vision. So, mirror vision. So, whereas on Facebook, somehow I can see myself in a mirror, but they actually turn things around. Okay, so they inverse the mirror, if you want to. Anyhow, I'm not a specialist in that, and as you can see, otherwise I'd be much sharper in in being publicly doing that. Okay, so I wanted to cover a few grammatical things with you. So as I said, it's even though I've been talking like if you were at least intermediate level, like I am in perpetuity at the intermediate level in the way I speak. No, I'm just kidding. Well, there's a part of truth in that because you know, uh, at some point you're never going to get a perfect accent or whatnot. It's always going to remain, and you're gonna have to live with that, just like an handicapped person if you want to. But I'm fine with that actually. So and even some people can find it enjoyable somehow. You know, I do think so, but it's really up to you. Um, there's different things in there. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna look in a table, in any table actually. Um, the first things, well, I can ask you a question about it, but there's no one to really to answer, is there? There's actually no one. Uh, anyhow, so the first thing you look on, what was the first thing you look on a table? Well, you look at the titles on the columns and on the rows, okay? Um, so on the columns, you got, I just wanted to point out that those were examples, not the theory. Okay, I like to, just like in mathematics, in English, I'm a practical guy, so I like to go straight ahead with concrete examples. And some people like it, some people are more, they want more theory. That's okay, I can do that. But I want to be myself, and I want to teach the way I like to teach. And if there's some people suggesting stuff, I can say, well, I can take that, take some, leave some at some point, and go ahead with that. Okay, um, there's a verb to be. Okay, verbe être en français in French. Other verbs. Okay, so it's not a French lesson if you want, but there's going to be cracks here and there about French, and that's okay. Some people like it, some people don't. But screw those who don't like it. That's they're not forced to. As you can see, there's no one right now, so they're not forced to listen to what I have to say. And that's okay. I like this freedom, and I want to help people actually that want to help themselves in the first place. If you just want to fool around and take it easy, I won't unfortunately be there for you. That's my approach in life in general, But that's okay. There's other people that are more coercive and a little bolder and a little more authoritarian. That's fine. We all have our specialty, and I'm more. I tend to be to enjoy anyhow. Okay, we'll go straight ahead with examples. Okay, so you got what have we got on our rows? So we got affirmative, negative, yes, no questions, information questions. So basically, what are those information questions? There's what, where, who, when, which, how. So basically, the five, what we call in English also the five W's. Um, so what, where, who, when, which, how. And there's, well, if you're French, it's quoi, où, in the sense of location, qui, quand, lequel, ou laquelle, ou lesquels, and auquel, so there's and how is comment. Okay, so anyhow, if you don't speak French, that's really pointless right now. You're trying to learn English, so just toss that aside, and that's fine with me. Okay. And if you got any question at any moment, just interrupt me. It's easy to say here. So here I can do whatever I want. Well, up to a certain point, because I'm being a public figure, with the advantages and disadvantages that comes with it. But that's okay. I'm there to try to teach you a little bit of English. So the verb to be. Okay, so affirmative is positive, so it's saying things straightforward. I'm eating an apple. I'm looking at the screen. I drink juice. I'm going to party tonight. So that doesn't matter the tense, okay? Present progressive, past progressive, future conditional, doesn't matter, okay? I put things here in the present tense because well, it's the first tense usually that you learn to master in any language, like you do in any other language, whether it's French, Spanish, or whatnot. So the tense we start by the present tense. In English, there's two kinds of present tense if you want. Is if I'm actually in the process of doing the action, it's gonna end with ing, which is Geron, I believe. Anyhow, it's in the theory, but it finishes with ing, like I'm doing, I'm drinking, I'm eating, I'm writing, I'm looking, I'm listening, I'm whatever, or he or she or whatnot. Okay. Um, so I took very easy examples, very basic stuff, very basic vocabulary. Okay, so with me, as I said, it's gonna be nice at some point to get some people actually with their keyboard and writing questions. And there's no, I'm gonna enjoy each question that you take the time to write down. Um, Even if my girlfriend is coming, my wife, anyhow, it's hard to explain. It's uh, it's my partner, my domestic partner, if you want. They, well, some people don't like it when I say it that way, but there's a word in French that I don't really find the equivalent. So sometimes it's easier to say we're not married, but we're like wife and husband. So sometimes it's easier to say, oh, that my wife in English. Whereas in French, it's kind of, if I say ma femme, it's going to say, well, or mon épouse, then you're going to say, well, you're married, which is not the case. Um, so as I said, this is basic vocabulary, and I don't want to take too much of your time. So it's already 30 minutes. Well, it's 27 minutes, and I know it takes. So I just want to go across that, okay? Um, but at some point, we're gonna run things on different platforms at the same time, and you're gonna be able to share the link, of course, because it's being public. So and then you can write me down an email to the email I just gave you, um, which was Promat Monsieur. Yeah, so yeah. So Promat Monsieur. Croc Monsieur. Okay. Um, so where would I write that? Okay. You guys just gonna erase that and say what's your favorite song over there. And I'm gonna write down Promat. So any questions you got? Promat, oh, geez, sorry about that. Promat Monsieur at gmail.com. Okay, does that sound fair enough? Does it? I guess it does. You see it? Anyhow, you can try and make it bigger. Um, so I'm gonna start by an example with the verb to be. So affirmative, I am a nice guy. I could have shortened it with I'm. So instead of I'm like that, which is the shorter form of I am. There's lots of that in English, if you haven't noticed already. Depending on your level, as I said, it's a beginner, but not, it's more like I would say at this point, more like secondary, high school level, you know. And there's different kinds of, I've seen bilingual people at 6 years old, and I've seen people that are never gonna get it. It doesn't matter how much listening or well, usually 99% of those who put the effort in unless you got some kind of mental problem, which I don't, which I respect. If we all get our mental issues, but the point is, if you're average intelligent, I'm taking the average guy, just generally speaking. I'm not talking about the exceptions, so on and so forth. So I'm going with the vast majority of people whenever I'm giving out examples like that. Um, so the vast majority are eventually going to get it, but it doesn't really matter if you get it at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 20, 30, 50, 60 years old. I just find it a shame, on the more political and maybe personal level in Quebec, and I don't want to start a debate over that, but just the fact that I figure that we should all, I find it strange over here when people, I'm taking stuff for granted sometimes. I'm figuring, okay, that's because I'm doing it must be really easy because maybe I don't have such a high esteem of myself. Well, I have an esteem, but you know what I mean. Um, so I'm taking stuff for granted sometimes, and at some point, what can I say about it? And what I wanted to say is in Quebec, and I don't want to make it a political issue, but I figure we should all be bilingual, just like Pagzo was saying, and Pagzo was a hardcore separatist. But just a small parenthesis of politics brackets. Put that in brackets, and maybe if you want to speed that up, because I'm going back to that in 2 minutes. Um, is yeah, what he was saying, what he said at some point is, if I meet some people that don't speak, don't have good French and English, that are not bilingual French and English, I'm gonna kick their ass basically. So that's Parizeau who said that, okay, and I believe in Quebec we even English people and also we most of the people have integrated this notion that we're going to be a big bilingual. We're not a Canada is supposed to be this big bilingual country. It's not the case. I know that. I believe that. But it's part of the Constitution, and we would have to dig in there. And no one wants to do the dirty work there. Uh, that's fine. But you know, anyhow. So that was my bracket. So well, let's close the bracket for now. Okay, so affirmative or positive, if you want, if you prefer to say being positive, which doesn't mean that doesn't it has nothing to do with if it's a positive situation. Like I can say I am mad, and it's very negative, but that's still affirmative. So that's why we say affirmative because it's more neutral than a word like positive. And since there's no real equivalent in negative, uh, which is the same idea there, it can be something very positive, but saying it in negative way, just like um, I'm not mad, So it's something positive in the end, but saying it in a negative fashion. Usually, we still prefer to say it in an affirmative way, but sometimes we have no choice but to use that. Okay. Um, so yes, no question. Well, are you a nice guy? Am I a nice guy? If am I evil? Just like the song there, am I evil? King Diamond, I believe. It was also taken. It was also um, a cover. Was a Metallica cover. So and so for the you rock and roll metal ed fans, okay. Um, information question. Well, you use those words. Who's your best friend? Who is your best friend? What is your favorite movie? And yeah, so let's take another example with other verbs. I wanted to keep it simple, so was gonna go with I like. Let's say, so I like music. Um, I eat apples. So it's always the same example that comes all the time, but that's okay. So I've negative form of that. I do not like music. I don't like music. Um, and the only tense that changes is that the third person of the singular. Um, so third person, like he he doesn't like music, for instance. It's like a third person in the singular. So that's the only place. So it would be like it doesn't. He doesn't. It would be for the well, when you talk about a thing or an animal, or when you use it as demonstrative pronoun. Okay, just like it doesn't matter. It's going fine in my life. So it doesn't represent anything beside displaying the situation that's going on. Okay. Yes, no question when I talked about it. So, do you like music? When did you start to like music? Who plays the song called Lithium? The answer is Nirvana. Used to be a big fan, but at some point I've, you know, got tired of listening to that. That's okay. Um, but still, at some point, it's nice to remind each other of that. So it's already, it's already been 36 minutes, and the nice thing right now is there's no one around, and I hope you had a nice time. I'm sorry if I don't smile enough. I should like smile like that, and because it's just the way I am, but I'm not. I'm still smiling from the inside of me. So I hope you appreciated this time we took together to discuss those things over there. And so this is something that I like to do. This is something I love to do, and I don't have really. I'm not a good beginner, and I'm not a good closer. But at some point, I'm gonna get some kind of formula that maybe you're gonna kind of a jingle, or if you want, I got no music to run, or should I run music? I don't know. Maybe if you got an idea of a song, English, French, whatever, or whatever, Spanish, Despacito in the background. So you like Despacito, you're telling me. Is that true? Uh, Maybe I'm gonna use it as I don't know. Gonna use it maybe to close this thing there. I don't know if it's really appropriate, like if it's a good fit. I don't know. I'm gonna just as if Despacito didn't have like they're running Despacito. They're running like millions and millions of views. Those guys. Louis Fonzi, it's 7 billion views so far. It's amazing, eh? So let's run that in the background there. Yeah, I should run. Yeah, no, yeah, I have publicity. Okay, so I'm gonna put that as a nice fade away thing as a closure. If you have better ideas than that, I'm here. So thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. So as they always say, like the video, share it, subscribe to my channel. Now shut up, Louis. Okay, I guess that would be a great finish. You like shut up and go home. And I'm not gonna use dirty words because I'm a nice guy, and I do believe that stuff. That's you know, funny, Uh, so we're running out of time. I'm at 40 minutes now. So thank you very much for your time and have a nice day. Bye. There you